What's good, YouTube? Flash Speaks, man. So, ESPN Stephen A. Smith right now has been in the news real crazy, man. Like, it's really crazy how, when you kind of get into certain things with certain people, like LeBron James, for example, how all of a sudden all types of new things are just dropping, and then out of nowhere comes this extra little footage of this and of that. Can't make this stuff up. And trust me, nothing is a coincidence. But anyway, the issue is with regards to Stephen A. Smith, whether or not he is the angry black man, right? So now people are saying that this is a legit thing to call him because someone at ESPN said it. And it's a colleague, right? So this person knows Stephen A. Smith or has some type of access to him. So it has to be true, right? Well, I don't think so. And this is as someone who oftentimes is labeled similar types of things of angry black man myself. I would say Stephen A. Smith, I don't quite see it. See, this is the thing, bro. This is the thing, brothers. We got to make a choice, okay? Either you're going to be saying that this man is a coon, okay? Which is, someone who we say buck dances for the powers that be, in order to gain favor with them, and all the while, making one's own people, downing them, and making one's own people look bad, and so on, in order to entertain, right? He's either going to be that, or he's going to be just the angry black man, right? But one thing is for certain is like you can't take both, right? And this is the thing. Stephen A. Smith, and I put it like this, man. And I don't think I've ever addressed this before on the channel, my official opinion of him. And if I did, it would take a long time because I think I have a different way of looking at Stephen A. Smith. And it's because I remember broke Stephen A. Smith, or I remember struggling trying to get on his feet, Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith, for those who don't know, though originally is from New York, he got his start here in Philadelphia. This is where he first made his bones. Stephen A. Smith literally was brought up by Allen Iverson. It was Iverson who gave him a chance. All right, I watched the whole thing when Stephen A. Smith first came. He used to appear, the first time I've ever heard him, besides reading some of the stuff he used to write in a daily news called the Inquirer around here, a paper he used to write for, a pretty decent writer. Stephen A. Smith used to appear on local Philadelphia radio, WIP. The morning guy Angelo Cataldi would bring him on, and sometimes Mike Missinelli and Howard Eskin, for those who know these local guys, would bring Stephen A. Smith on. Now, Stephen A. Smith, right away, displayed his talent, his gift of gab, his ability to talk. When compared to those local guys, he grabbed your attention right away because of his style of speaking about the sport. Kind of was reminiscent of how, you might talk about sports in a barbershop, or how you might talk about sports on the corner, right? Stephen A. Smith kind of had that with him. Along with a very good grasp of the English language and ability to articulate himself and all those different things. Now, whether you like the guy or not, you gotta admit, the guy's a talent. He's talented, okay? And without a doubt, he's could, for the most part, blow these guys out the water, especially when basketball is the subject. Not saying this is the most difficult task at all, but, I give people props where they deserve their props. And Stephen A. Smith was a very talented guy. Went through the ranks. Obviously, over time, he must have been recognized by the bigger networks, and he made his way through that. There were ups and downs through ESPN, so on and so forth, but he got to where he is through some hard work, some consistency. I do not believe people, sleep their way to the top. I don't believe people are able to just totally snake their way to the top, and all of that type of stuff that some people believe. I don't believe he's put there by the Illuminati. None of that stuff. I believe that Stephen A. Smith has a good amount of talent, and he worked hard, persevered through the challenges that come with it, and got to where he is. And I think, he should get credit for that, whether you agree with his takes or not. I don't allow disagreement with someone's take to cause me to just not give them any credit for things that they are obviously, good at. So at any rate, the angry black thing, I don't really see that with Stephen A. Smith. And this is going to be shocking to some of my people that come here, and some people I mess with. I don't really see Stephen A. Smith as a full-blown coon either. So Stephen A. Smith, for me, falls somewhere in the middle. Now, there are times and there are takes and there are positions that I think he's taken that appeared a little coonish to me. Like, one of the things I don't like is, I'm not going to get into some of those things because that can get a little, I'll take some of that back. I'm not going to go into examples. Okay, but I will say there are things that gave me the feeling like, oh man, that was kind of a coonish thing to say. But then on the other hand, he'll speak up for certain things. I think it was very good what he did, as far as speaking up for the Jackie Robinson situation. Because, you got these knuckleheads in the White House, the king and his little, henchmen, doing nonsense. Right? So I think it was a good job him speaking up on behalf of that. I give him his props for it, using this platform. I didn't like certain things he did, like the whole Will Smith situation. I didn't like that, but am I going to just completely throw out the whole baby with the bathwater because of that? No, I don't do that either. The whole thing with LeBron I talked about, and there's two sides to that. On one hand, I understand where LeBron comes from as far as, wanting to defend his son. On the other hand, I don't see the place that it has in sports. I think when you're in sports, I'm not going to act like there's a couple of things with that. I'm not going to act like Bronny James is going to be different from any other athlete. I don't care where he was drafted or anything like that. You're in the sports arena. You're getting paid $8 million a year. So what? Somebody doesn't think you're good. What's it matter? Give me $8 million and I swear to God, you can say whatever you want. I don't give a damn. Just don't get personal. Don't talk about my mama or something like that. So I don't quite get that, that part of it. What I don't like about the whole thing from the LeBron James side is, why is only Stephen A. Smith obliged to deal with you with kid gloves, whereas someone else isn't? And people think because he's black, he's not allowed to criticize like black players. We got to get over that stuff, man, because you know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of like if the black guy who goes to a let's say a mall, and or go to like a bazaar. If you understand what a bazaar is, it's like a place where a number of like vendors are out there selling things. And you got black vendors, you got white vendors, and you got Asian vendors or whatever. Okay, let's say you have multiple different vendors, and then the black guy, he goes up to the white vendors, okay, or the Chinese vendors or whoever, and they're selling jeans, for $20 a pair. I know there's no such thing as that anymore, but $20 a pair. He goes up and he'll just pay the $20, right? Then he goes over to the black vendor, and the black vendor is selling jeans, 15 or selling jeans for $20, the same price. And then you go up to the black vendor and be like, yo, bro, dang, can I get a breakdown? Can I get two for 30? You won't do that with the other ones, but when it's a black person, you think, all right, how can I get over it? And then in your mind, you think this is black unity. Bro, that's not black unity. No, that's not supporting black businesses. Supporting black businesses is coming over and paying the price that I asked for because this is out of concern to see me grow. Right? That's supporting black business. Supporting black business ain't looking for a breakdown from the black business person, but then not doing the same thing with the other business person. right? That's what I'm saying, and that's what that reminds me of with Stephen A. Smith. Some of us expect Stephen A. Smith to play with kid gloves with any black athlete, right? And then we say, well, he don't have that same smoke for white athletes. And is that true? Is it not? I don't know. You know why? Because oftentimes we're not really paying attention to what's going on to white athletes. Number two, like black athletes kind of dominate a number of the sports, right? It's like, as far as from the athletic side, black athletes kind of dominate the landscape when it comes to football and basketball, which is what's talked about. Baseball isn't really talked about, right? Hockey's never talked about. So it's more than likely that the subject is going to concern a black player more than a white player. You understand what I'm saying? And I get some things where, all right, when Ben Roethlisberger did this or Aaron Rodgers did that, they don't go in on him. Well, is that really true? If you think about Aaron Rodgers, who I think is wrongfully attacked a lot. I mean, I'm a little different when it comes to that. Aaron Rodgers is a guy I actually like. A lot of people I notice don't like him. A lot of people I mess with don't like Aaron Rodgers, I guess I liked Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers is different. Aaron Rodgers is a guy with his own brain. Aaron Rodgers is a guy that goes against the grain. I guess I'm similar to that, so I kind of respect that with him, whether or not I agree with all his positions. One of the things I do like about Aaron Rodgers is that he'll have his opinion about a particular thing. And when asked about his opinion, he's able to articulate why he feels that way. And one thing about me, anybody who's able to do that, I respect them. I could disagree with you to the high heavens. But if you are able to stand on your opinion and then give me reasons why you have your opinion, you know what I'm gonna do? Okay, and I'll back off and let you and I'll let you have it, because I see that your position is genuine. That's all I be looking for, is genuine. Like when I smell hypocrisy or I smell fakeness, that's when I got an issue. But if somebody's genuine, there's no hypocrisy there, and they got their reasons for how they feel the way they feel, I'm the first to respect that, right? So, but this is the thing with Stephen A. Smith. I know I done got away a little bit here. All right. I don't see the angry black man thing at all. I think Stephen A. Smith is very controlled. I think he's very aware, kind of like of what he's doing, when it comes to like when he deals with issues, when he doesn't, right? Now, one thing about Stephen A. Smith, if there was any criticism I can give him, and I don't even know if most of y'all consider this a criticism, I think Stephen A. Smith at times can be a little money hungry. But that's just a personal thing, knowing him. Like, I'm somewhat of a spiritual minded person, right? So that's a thing to me. But I know to some people that's a good thing. They're money hungry. What I think is sometimes he'll take the position that isn't going to hurt the bag. And my thing is, most people are the same way. A lot of people that criticize him are probably the same way. And I also don't hold him accountable for things that I don't know how I would do in that same situation. Like, for example, let me just pick an example pick something for example here. Let's say Stephen A. Smith is asked to speak on a particular topic, and he feels a particular way about a thing. But he knows that if he takes this particular position, he may not get $100 million, for example, contract that he's expecting. All you gotta do is just not talk about a particular thing or take a particular position on a particular thing. Some of y'all or some people jump on this dude because they expect him. No, you shouldn't be worried about the money. You should just be saying the truth and all that. When knowing damn well, if they were in the same position, they probably do the same damn thing Stephen A. Smith is doing. That's the thing about it. If you never seen what $100 million look like, you don't know what you might do for that. Right? It's the truth. Now, I know there's certain things I ain't doing for no money. I don't care what it is. Certain things I ain't doing, like certain immoral acts and stuff like that. I don't give a damn what's going on. I ain't never doing that. Right? There are those things. But outside of those obvious things, which I shouldn't have to mention right here, as far as just speaking on something or being silent about a particular thing for millions of dollars, when you start considering, I got kids I might need to take care of, I can have generational wealth to take care of extended family, and I can buy land and help my community and those things. I mean, you don't know what you'd do, man. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what I'd do in some of those instances, man. For real. And I'm not about to sit up here and say Stephen A. Smith is this, or he's that, he's a clown, or he's a coon, or whatever, when I've never been tested with that. I don't know what it's like to fly private jets everywhere and, have all tailor-made clothes and be able to go wherever I want at all times and meet with dignitaries and have this crazy platform. Like, I don't know what that's like. I don't know what that lifestyle is like, for real. So, I'm not going to sit here and just pass judgment on people who are given that spiritual test. That's a test that I don't know nothing about, So, that's pretty much kind of what I got on that. Stephen A. Smith, man, honestly, if I could summarize kind of how he is, he's similar to, some of you might understand where I'm getting from, getting away with this or not. His mindset, in my opinion, is he is somewhat of a black nationalist, I think, right? But he's a black nationalist more in the vein of, say, a Booker T. Washington, more so than the way of, say, a Marcus Garvey, or though Garvey and Booker T is similar in some ways, than a Marcus Garvey, or say who's more of a, say, Kwame Ture or someone like that, who would be more along the other end of the spectrum. Definitely not like a Dr. Umar, who I know from Philly. Just trust me, Dr. Umar is full of it. I remember you was at the mass here trying to spread your stuff, and all of a sudden you realize, that the dean got a little too much discipline for you, so you can go out there and wild out, right? Yeah, just in case he ever saw this, he bruh, yeah, I know you, dog. So, whatever, when it comes to him. But obviously Stephen A. Smith, of course, is not on that spectrum of it. But I think Stephen A. Smith believes that he's doing the right thing for black people, but he believes in doing it right. He believes in presenting himself in a way that's non-threatening to non-black people, right? To allow himself to get on the inside and try to work his way on the inside. So Stephen A. Smith is the type, let's say, and that's what I think. I mean, I could be right, but I could be right or wrong. He's the type, once he's in on the inside and he has some pull, he'll help you out. If you're a young black person that is, smart and upcoming and has some talent, I believe he'll help guys like, say, the Ryan Clarks that's coming up behind him, or maybe the Swagoos and others like that in the business. I believe he'll do that. Monica McNuts and so on. Until you either mess up the bag, put the bag in jeopardy. You do that, he don't know you. That's the type of dude I think he is. He that type of dude on the job. I'll help you, but dog, you messed the bag up, I don't know you. Or, and this is the problem with Stephen A. Smith, he does have an ego. Or if you insult his ego personally, then he might become a bad person. That's the thing where I think he may have an issue, but that's most people, man. Unless you're some refined sage or some priest or something like that, where we worked on your character like that. Most people have egos, right? But that's where I see Stephen A. Smith. I don't think he's a full-blown coon, and I don't think he's just flat out evil to the point where he's against us or something like that. I think some of those positions are a little bit extreme, right? But in those areas where I think he's wrong, I ain't got no problem, trying to put out correction where I think it's necessary. All right? Just tell me what y'all think, man. Peace out.